Now, dear Ismene, my own blood sister, do you have any sense of all the trouble Zeus keeps bringing on the two of us? All that misery which stems from Oedipus? There's no suffering, no shame, no ruin, not one dishonor which I have not seen you and I go through. Have you heard? Or have you just missed the news? Dishonors which better suit our enemies are now being piled up on the ones we love.
I've heard no word at all, Antigone, nothing good or bad about our family. Not since we two lost both our brothers. And since the Argive army just last night has gone away, I don't know anymore if I've been lucky or faced total ruin.
I know that. That's why I brought you here, outside the gates, so only you can hear.
What is it? The way you look makes it seem you're thinking of some dark and gloomy news.
Look. What's Creon doing with our two brothers? He's treating one with a full funeral and treating the other one disgracefully. Eteocles, they say, has had his burial according to our customary rites to win him honor with the dead below. But as for Polynices, who perished so miserably and orders gone out throughout the city, that's what people say. He's to have no funeral or lament, but to be left unburied and unwept. A sweet treasure for the birds to look at, for them to feed at, to their heart's content. That's what people say the noble Creon has announced. For Creon, this matter's really serious. Anyone who acts against the order will be stoned to death by the city.
Oh, my poor sister, if that's what's happening, what can I say that would be of any help to ease the situation or resolve it?
Think whether you will work with me in this and act together.
What do you mean?
Will you help these hands take up Polynices' corpse and bury it?
What? You're going to bury Polynices when that's been made a crime for all in Thebes?
Yes. I'll do my duty to my brother, and yours as well if you're not prepared to. I won't be caught betraying him.
Has Creon not expressly banned the act?
Yes, but he's got no right to keep me from what's mine.
Oh, dear, think, Antigone. Consider how our father died, hated and disgraced, when those mistakes, which his own search revealed, forced him to turn his hand against himself and stab out both his eyes. Then there's our own two brothers, both butchered in a single day. That ill-fated pair with their own hands slaughtered one another and brought about their common doom. Now, the two of us are left here quite alone. Think how we'll die far worse than all the rest if we defy the law and move against the king's decree. We must remember that by birth we're women, and as such we shouldn't fight with men. Since those who rule are much more powerful, we must, in this and in events which bring us even harsher agonies, obey. So I'll ask those underground for pardon. Since I'm being compelled, I will obey those in control. That's what I'm being forced to do.
I wouldn't urge you to. No. Not even if you were keen to act. Doing this with you would bring me no pleasure, so be what you want. I'll still bury him. I'll lie there with him, with the man I love, pure and innocent for all my crime. My honors for the dead must last much longer than for those up here. I'll lie down there forever. As for you, well, if you wish, you can show your contempt for the laws the gods all hold in honor.
I'm not disrespecting them, but I can't act against the state. That's not in my nature.
Let that be your excuse. I'm going now to make a burial mound for my brother.
I'm so afraid for you.
Don't fear for me. Set your own fate in order.
Make sure you don't reveal to anyone what you intend. Keep it closely hidden. I'll do the same.
No. Announce the fact. If you don't let everybody know, I'll despise your silence even more.
Your heart is hot to do cold deeds.
But I know I'll please the ones I'm duty-bound to please.
Yes, if you can, but you're after something which you're incapable of carrying out.
Well, when my strength is gone, then I'll give up.
A vain attempt should not be made at all.
I'll hate you if you're going to talk that way, and you'll rightly earn the loathing of the dead. So leave me and my foolishness alone. I won't suffer anything as bad as a disgraceful death.
All right then, go if that's what you think right, but remember this. Even though your mission makes no sense, your friends do truly love you.
Oh, ray of sunlight, most beautiful that ever shone on Thebes, city of the seven gates.
You've appeared at last, you glowing eye of golden day.
Moving above the streams of Dirce, driving into headlong flight.
The white-shield warrior from Argos who marched here fully armed, now forced back by your sharper power.
Against our lands he marched, sent here by the warring claims of Polynices.
Piercing screams, an eagle flying above our land, covered wings as white as snow.
And hordes of warriors in arms.
Helmets topped with horsehair crests.
Standing above our homes, he ranged around our seven gates.
With threats to swallow us and spears thrusting to kill.
Before his jaws had had their fill and gorged themselves on Theban blood.
We went back, driven in retreat.
Behind him rings the din of war, his enemy the Theban dragon snake, too difficult for him to overcome.
Zeus hates an arrogant, boasting tongue, seeing them march here in a mighty stream in all their clanging golden pride.
He hurled his fire and struck the man up there on our battlements as he began to scream aloud his victory.
Great war god Ares assisted us. He smashed them down and doomed them all.
Now victory with her glorious name has come, bringing joy to well-armed Thebes.
Battle's done. Let's strive now to forget, with songs and dancing all night long.
But here comes Creon, new king of our land.
What plan of action does he have in mind?
What's made him hold this special meeting with elders summoned by general call?
After much tossing of our ship of state, the gods have safely set things right again. Of all the citizens, I've summoned you because I know how well you showed respect for the eternal power of the throne. When Oedipus died, you stood by his children, firm in loyalty. Now his sons have perished in a single day, killing each other with their own two hands. And so I have the throne. It's impossible to really know a man, to know his soul, his mind and will before one witnesses his skill in governing. A man who rules the entire state and does not take the best advice there is, but through fear keeps his mouth forever shut. Such a man is the very worst of men and always will be. And a man who thinks more highly of a friend than of his country, well, he means nothing to me. Let Zeus know. I would not stay silent if I saw disaster moving here against the citizens. For anyone who acts against the state, I'd never make my friend. For I know well our country is a ship which keeps us safe. These are the principles I'll use in order to protect our state. That's why I've announced to all the citizens my orders for the sons of Oedipus. Eteocles, who perished in the fight to save our city, the best and bravest of our spearmen, will have his burial with all those purifying rituals which accompany the noblest corpses as they move below. As for his brother, that Polynices, who returned from exile, eager to wipe out in all-consuming fire his ancestral city and its native gods, keen to seize upon his family's blood and lead men into slavery for him, The proclamation in the state declares he'll have no burial mound, no funeral rites, and no lament. He'll be left unburied, his body there for birds and dogs to eat, a clear reminder of his shameful fate. That's my decision. For I'll never act to respect an evil man in preference to a man who's acted well.
If that's your will for the city's friends and enemies.
Seems to me you now have control of all of us, those who've died and us as well.
The ones who are still living.
But see to it then, and act as guardians of what's been proclaimed.
Give that task to younger men to deal with.
Well, there are men assigned to oversee the corpse.
Then what remains that you would have us do?
Don't yield to those who contravene my orders.
No one is such a fool that he loves death.
Yes, that will be his full reward indeed.
My lord, I can't say I've come out of breath by running here. Many times I stopped to think things over. My mind was saying things to me. That, you fool, why go to where you know for sure your punishment awaits? And now, poor man, why are you hesitating yet again? If Creon finds us out from someone else, how will you escape from being hurt? Such matters kept my mind preoccupied, and so I went slowly and reluctantly. But then the view that I should come to you won out. For I've come here clinging to the hope that I'll not suffer anything that's not part of my destiny.
What's happening that's made you so upset?
I did not do it, and I didn't see the one who did, so it would be unjust if I should come to grief.
But clearly you have news of something ominous.
Yes.
Why not say it and then go, just leave?
All right. I'll tell you. It's about the corpse. Someone has buried it.
What man would do this?
I don't know. Whoever did it left no trace. When the first man on day watch revealed it to us, we were all amazed. The corpse was hidden, but not in a tomb. It was lightly covered up with dirt, as if someone wanted to avert a curse. There was no trace of wild animal or dogs who'd come to rip the corpse apart. Then words flew round among us all, with every guard accusing someone else. We were about to fight. No one was there to put a stop to it. Every one of us was responsible, but no one of us was clearly in the wrong. In our defense, we pleaded ignorance. We were then quite prepared to swear by all the gods that we'd not done it. We'd not known how the act was planned or how it had been carried out. At last, one man spoke up. And his words forced us all to drop our faces to the ground in fear. He said we must report this act to you. We must not hide it, and his view prevailed. I was the unlucky man who won the prize, luck of the draw. That's why I'm here now, not of my own free will or by your choice. I know that. No one likes a messenger who comes bearing unwelcome news with him.
My lord, I've been wondering for some time now. Could this act not be something from the gods?
Stop now, before what you're about to say enrages me completely and proves that you're not only old, but stupid too. No one can tolerate what you've just said. When you say gods might care about this corpse, would they pay extraordinary honors and bury as a man who'd served them well someone who came to burn their offerings, their pillared temples, to torch their lands and scatter all its laws? Or do you see gods paying respect to evil men? No. For quite some time, some people in this town have secretly been conspiring against me. They shake their heads and have not kept their necks under my yoke as they are duty bound to do. I know well these guards were led astray.
Sir, the
For
oath
money!
forward.
Money trains and twists the minds in worthy men. Money teaches men to live as scoundrels. Sooner or later, those who carry out such acts for cash see how their crimes they pay the penalty. For if great Zeus still has my respect, then understand this. I swear to you an oath. Unless you find the one whose hands really buried him, death for you will never be enough. No, not before you're hung up, still alive, and you confess to this gross, violent act. You'll know More men are ruined than are saved when they earn profits from dishonest schemes.
Do I have your permission to speak now?
I find your voice so irritating. Don't you know that?
Where does it hurt?
Why try to question where I feel my pain?
The man who did it, he offends your mind. I upset your ears.
My, it's clear to see that it is natural for you to chatter on.
Perhaps, but I never did this.
This and more. You sold your life for silver.
How strange and sad it is when the one who sorts us out gets it all wrong.
Well, enjoy your sophisticated views, but if you don't reveal to me who did this, you'll just confirm how much your treasonous gains have made you suffer.
Well, I hope he's found, but whether caught or not, and that's something sheer chance will bring about, you won't see me coming here again.
There are many strange and wonderful things, but nothing more strangely wonderful than man.
He moves across the white-capped ocean seas blasted by winter storms, carving his way under the surging waves, engulfing him.
With his teams of horses, he wears down the unwearied and immortal earth, the oldest of the gods, harassing her as year by year his plows move back and forth.
He snares the light-winged flocks of birds, herds of wild beasts, creatures from deep seas trapped in the fine mesh of his hunting net.
Oh, resourceful man, whose skill can overcome ferocious beasts roaming mountain heights.
He curves the ripe-haired horses with his bit and tames the inexhaustible mountain bulls, setting their savage necks beneath his yoke.
He's taught himself speech and wind-swift thought, trained his feelings for communal civic life,
learning to escape the icy shafts of frost, volleys of pelting rain in winter storms, the harsh life lived under the open sky.
That's man. So resourceful in all he does. There is no event his skill cannot confront.
Other than death.
That alone he cannot shun.
Although for many baffling sicknesses he has discovered his own remedies.
The qualities of his inventive skills bring arts beyond his dreams and lead him on, sometimes to evil and sometimes to good.
If he honors justice by swearing on the gods, he wins high honors in his city.
But when he grows bold and turns evil, then he has no city. A man like that, let him not share my home or know my mind.
What's this? I fear some omen from the gods.
I can't deny what I see here so clearly. That young girl there, it's Antigone. Oh, you poor girl. Daughter of Oedipus, child of such a father, so unfortunate. What's going on?
Surely they've not brought you here because you've disobeyed the royal laws. Because they've caught you acting foolishly?
We caught her as she was burying the corpse. Where's Creon?
Oh, he's coming from the house.
And just in time.
What is it?
My lord! Human beings should never swear an oath, for later thoughts contradict what they first meant. I'd have sworn not to adventure here again. Back then, the threats you made brought me a lot of grief. But there's no joy as great as what we pray for against all hope, and so I have come back. I bring this girl, captured while she was honoring the grave. And now, my lord, take her for questioning. As for me, by rights, I'm free and clear of all this trouble.
This girl here, how did you catch her?
She was burying that man.
Do you understand just what you're saying? Are your words true?
We saw this girl giving that dead man's corpse full burial rites. Is what I say simple and clear enough?
How did you see her, catch her in the act?
When we got there, we swept all the dust covering the corpse, so the damp body was completely bare. Then we sat down on rising ground upwind to escape the body's rotting stench. Whipping clouds of dust came up from the ground, filling the plain. Some heaven-sent trouble. Just shut our mouths and endured the scourge sent from the gods. A long time passed. The storm came to an end, and that's when we saw the girl. She was shrieking A distressing, painful cry, just like a bird who'd seen an empty nest, its fledglings gone. She swore, calling evil curses down upon the ones who'd done this, and then right away her hands threw on the thirsty dust. She lifted up a finely made bronze jug, and then 3 times poured out her tributes to the dead. When we saw that, we rushed up right away and grabbed her. We charged her with her previous offense, as well as this one. She just kept standing there, denying nothing. That made me happy. Though it was painful, too, for it's a joy escaping troubles which affect oneself, but painful to bring evil upon one's friends. But all of that is of less concern to me than my own safety.
You there, you, with your head bent down towards the ground. What do you say?
I admit I did it.
You're dismissed. Tell me briefly, were you aware there was a proclamation forbidding what you did?
It was public knowledge.
And yet you dared to break those very laws.
Yes. Zeus did not announce those laws to me, so I did not think anything which you proclaim strong enough to let a mortal override the gods and their unwritten and unchanging laws. See, they're not just for today or yesterday, but exist forever, and no one knows when they first appeared. So I did not mean to let a fear of any human will lead to my punishment among the gods. I know all too well I'm going to die. It makes no difference what you decree. And if I have to die before my time, well, I count that a gain. When someone has to live the way I do, surrounded by so many evil things, how can she fail to find a benefit in death? If I'd allowed my own mother's dead son to just lie there, then I'd feel distress. So, if you think what I'm doing now is stupid, perhaps I'm being charged with foolishness by someone who's a fool.
It's clear enough the spirit in this girl is passionate. Her father was the same.
He has no sense of compromise in times of trouble.
The strongest iron, tempered in the fire to make it really hard. That's the kind you see most often shatter. The most tempestuous horses are tamed by one small bit. This girl here was already very insolent in contravening laws we had proclaimed. Here she again displays her proud contempt. She laughs at what she's done. If she gets her way and goes unpunished, then she's the man here, not me, no. She may be my sister's child, closer to me by blood than anyone belonging to my house, but she'll not escape my harshest punishment. Her sister too, whom I accuse as well, bring her here.
Take me and kill me. What more do you want?
Me? Nothing.
Then why delay? There's nothing in your words that I enjoy, and what I say displeases you as much. But where could I gain greater glory than setting my own brother in his grave? All those here would confirm this pleased them if their lips weren't sealed by fear.
In all of Thebes, you're the only one who thinks that way.
They share my views, but keep their mouths shut just for you.
And these views of yours, don't they bring you any sense of shame?
No. There's nothing shameful in honoring my mother's children.
You had a brother killed, fighting for the other side.
Yes, from the same mother and father, too.
Why then give tributes which insult his name?
But his dead corpse won't back up what you say.
Yes, he will if you give equal honors to a wicked man.
But the one who died was not some slave, it was his own brother!
Who was destroying this country! The other one went to his death defending it!
That may be, but Hades still desires equal rights for both.
A good man does not wish what we give him to be the same an evil man receives.
Who knows? In the world below, perhaps, such actions are no crime.
An enemy can never be a friend, not even in death.
But my nature is to love. I cannot hate.
Then go down to the dead. No woman's going to govern me. No, no. Not while I'm still alive. You there, you snake lurking in my house, sucking out my life's blood so secretly. I'd no idea I was nurturing two pests who aimed to rise against my throne. Tell me this. Will you admit you played your part in this burial, or will you swear an oath you had no knowledge of it?
I did it. I admit it, and she'll back me up, so I bear the guilt as well.
No, you didn't want to. I didn't work with you.
But now you're in trouble. I'm not ashamed of suffering too as your companion.
I don't love a friend whose love is only words.
You're my sister. Let me die with you.
Don't try to share my death. I'll die, and that will be enough.
If you're gone, what is there in life for me to love?
Ask Creon. He's the only one you care about.
Why hurt me like this? Even now, is there some way I can help?
Save yourself. I won't envy your escape.
I feel so wretched leaving you to die.
You chose life. It was my choice to die.
But not before I'd said those words just now.
Be brave. You're alive. But my soul died some time ago, so I might help the dead.
I'd say one of these girls just revealed how mad she is. The other one's been that way since she was born.
My lord, whatever good sense people have by birth no longer stays with them once their lives go wrong. It abandons them.
In your case, that's true. Once you made your choice to act in evil ways with wicked people.
How could I live alone without her here?
Don't speak of her being here. Her life is over.
You're going to kill your own son's bride.
Why not? There are other fields for him to plow.
No one will make him a more loving wife than she will.
I have no desire my son should have an evil wife.
Dearest Haman, how your father wrongs you.
I've had enough of this. You and your marriage.
You really want that? You're going to take her from him.
No, not me. Hades is the one who'll stop the marriage.
So she must die.
Yes. No more delay. You slaves, take them inside. From this point on, they must act like women and have no liberty to wander off.
This age-old sorrow falling on the sorrows of the dead.
One generation bringing no relief to generations after it.
Some god strikes at them on and on without an end.
For now, the light which has been shining over the last roots of Oedipus's house
Is being cut down with a bloody knife belonging to the gods below, for foolish talk and frenzy in the soul.
O Zeus, what human trespasses can check your power? A sovereign who cannot grow old, you hold Olympus on your own in all its glittering magnificence.
From now on into all future time, your law holds firm. It never enters lives of human beings in its full force without disaster.
Oh, here comes Haman, your only living son. Is he grieving the fate of Antigone, his bride? Bitter that his marriage hopes are gone.
We'll find out soon. More accurately than any prophet here could indicate. My son, have you heard the sentence that's been passed upon your bride? And have you now come here angry at your father? Or are you loyal to me, on my side, no matter what I do?
Father, I'm yours. For me, your judgments and the way you act on them are good. I shall follow them. I shall not consider any marriage a greater benefit than your fine leadership.
Indeed, my son, that's how your heart should always be resolved, to stand behind your father's judgment on every issue. That's what men pray for. Obedient children growing up at home who will pay back their father's enemies. So, my son, spit this girl out. She's your enemy. Since I caught her clearly disobeying the only culprit in the whole city, I won't perjure myself before the state. I'll kill her. When men succeed, What keeps their lives secure in almost every case is their obedience. That's why they must support those in control and never let some woman beat us down. If we must fall from power, let that come at some man's hand. At least we won't be called inferior to any woman.
Father, the gods instill good sense in men, the greatest of all things which we possess. I could not find your words, somehow not right. I hope that's something I never learned to do. But other words might be good as well. Because of who you are, you can perceive all the things men say or do, but in the darkness, I can hear them talk. The city is upset about the girl. They say, of all women here, she least deserves the worst of deaths for her most glorious act. Surely she deserves some golden honor. For me, Father, nothing is more valuable than your well-being. A father feels the same about his sons. So don't let your mind dwell on just one thought, that what you say is right and nothing else. A man who thinks that only he is wise, that he can speak and think like no one else, when such men are exposed, then all can see their emptiness inside. For any man, even if he's wise, there's nothing shameful in learning new things. Those sailors who keep their sails stretched tight, never easing off, makes their ship capsize. So end your anger. Permit yourself to change. For if I, as a younger man, may state my views, I'd say it would be for the best if men by nature understood all things. If not, and that is usually the case, when men speak well, it is good to learn from them.
My lord, if what he said is relevant, it seems appropriate to learn from him.
And you too, Haman. Listen to the king.
And men my age, are we then going to school to learn what's wise from men as young as him?
Nothing wrong in that. Don't think about my age. Look at what I do.
And what you do. Does that include this? Honoring those who act against our laws?
I would not encourage anyone to show respect to evil men.
And her? Is she not suffering from the same disease?
The people here in Thebes all say the same. They deny she is.
Oh, so the city now will instruct me how I am to govern.
Now you're talking like someone far too young. Don't you see that?
Am I to rule this land at someone else's whim or by myself?
A city which belongs to just one man is no true city.
According to our laws, does not the ruler own the city?
By yourself, you'd make an excellent king, but in a desert.
It seems as if this boy is fighting on the woman's side.
That's true if you're the woman. I'm concerned for you.
Oh, you're the worst there is. You set your judgment up against your father.
No, not when I see you making a mistake and being unjust.
Is it a mistake to honor my own rule?
You're not honoring that by trampling on the gods' prerogatives.
Oh, you foul creature! You're worse than any woman!
Will not catch me giving way to some disgrace.
But your words all speak on her behalf.
And yours. And mine. And for the gods below.
Oh, you woman's slave. Don't try to win me over.
What do you want? To speak and never hear someone reply.
You'll never marry her while she's alive.
And she'll die. And in her death kill someone else.
Are you so insolent? You threaten me.
Where's the threat? In challenging a bad decree?
You'll regret parading what you think like this, you, a person with an empty brain.
If you were not my father, I might say you were not thinking straight.
Would you indeed? Well, then, by Olympus, I'll have you know you'll be sorry for demeaning me with all these insults. Go. Bring her out, that hateful creature, so she can die right here, with him present before her bridegroom's eyes.
No. Don't ever hope for that. She'll not die with me just standing there. And as for you, you will never see my face again. So let your rage charge on among your friends who want to stand by you in this.
My lord, even left in such a hurry.
He's angry. In a young man at his age, the mind turns bitter when he's feeling hurt.
Let him dream up or carry out great deeds beyond the power of man. He'll not save the girls. Their fate is sealed.
Are you going to kill them both?
No, not the one whose hands are clean, you're right.
How do you plan to kill Antigone?
I'll take her on a path no people use and hide her in a cavern in the rocks while still alive. Then she can speak her prayers to Hades, the only god she worships for success, avoiding death, or else at least she'll learn, although too late, how it's a waste of time to work to honor those whom Hades holds.
Oh, Eros, the conqueror in every fight, who sleeps at night on girls' soft cheeks and roams across the ocean seas and through the shepherd's hut.
No immortal god escapes from you, nor any man. The one whom you possess goes mad. Even in good men, you twist their minds, perverting them to their own ruin.
When I look at her, I forget my place. I lose restraint and can't hold back my tears. Antigone going to her bridal room where all are laid to rest in death.
Look at me, my native citizens, as I go on my final journey, as I gaze upon the sunlight one last time, which I'll never see again. For Hades, who brings all people to their final sleep, leads me on while I'm still living. I've not yet had my bridal song, nor has any wedding chant been sung.
Surely you carry fame with you and praise as you move to the deep home of the dead.
We're not stricken with some lethal disease.
Or paid your wages with a sword?
No, you are in charge of your own fate.
Oh, you are mocking me? Why me? By my own father's gods, why do you all, my own city and the richest men of Thebes, insult me right now to my face without waiting for my death? You see the laws which lead me to my rock-bound prison, a tomb made just for me. Alas! In my wretchedness, I have no home, not with human beings or corpses, not with the living or the dead.
You pushed your daring limit, my child, and tripped against justice's high altar. Perhaps your agonies are paying back some compensation for your father.
Now you touch on my most painful thought, my father's destiny, always on my mind. From what kind of parents was I born? Their wretched daughter. I'll go to them unmarried and accursed, an outcast. Alas, too, for my brother Polynices, who made a fatal marriage and then died, and with that death killed me while still alive.
Be piously devout shows reverence.
But powerful men who, in their persons, incorporate authority, cannot bear anyone to break their rules.
Hence you die.
Without lament, without a friend, and with no marriage song, I'm being led in this miserable state along my final road, so wretched that I no longer have the right to look upon the sun, that sacred eye. But my fate prompts no tears, and no friend mourns.
Take her and shut her up, as I have ordered in her tomb's embrace, and get it done as quickly as you can. Then leave her there alone, all by herself. She can sort out whether she wants suicide or remains alive, buried in a place like that.
Oh, my tomb and bridal chamber, my eternal, hollow dwelling place, where I go to join my people. Most of them have perished. I'm the last one, dying here the most evil death by far as I move down before the time allotted for my life is done. But I go nourishing the vital hope. My father will be pleased to see me come, as well as you. My mother will welcome me. And you, my dear brother, with my own hands, I washed you when you died. I arranged your corpse, and at the grave mound poured out libations. But now, Polynices, this is my reward for covering your corpse. I'd never have done it for children of my own, not as their mother, not for a dead husband lying in decay, no, not in defiance of the citizens. If my husband died, there'd be another one, and if I were to lose a child of mine, I'd have another with some other man. But I'll never have another living brother. That was the law I used to honor you. But Creon thought I was in the wrong and acting recklessly for you, my brother. Now he seizes me by force and leads me here. No wedding and no bridal song, no share in married life or raising children. Instead, I go in sorrow to my grave. What holy justice have I violated in my wretchedness? Why should I still look up to the gods? Which one can I invoke to bring me help when for my reverence they charge me with impiety? Well then, if this is something fine among the gods, I'll come to recognize that I've done wrong. But if these people here are being unjust, may they endure no greater punishment than the injustices they're doing to me.
The same storm blasts continue to attack the mind in this young girl.
Then those escorting her will be sorry they're so slow.
Alas, then those words mean death is very near at hand.
I won't encourage you or cheer you up by saying the sentence won't be carried out.
O city of my fathers, in this land of Thebes and my ancestral gods, I am being led away. No more delaying for me. Look on me, you lords of Thebes, the last survivor of your royal house. See what I have to undergo, the kind of men who do this to me, for paying reverence to true piety.
The power of fate is full of mystery.
There's no evading it. No.
Not with wealth.
Or war.
Or walls?
or Black Sea beaten ships.
Lords of Thebes, we too have walked a common path, one person's vision serving both of us. The blind require a guide to find their way.
What news do you have, old Tiresias?
You obey the prophet.
I've not rejected your advice before.
That's the reason why you've steered the city on its proper course.
From my experience, I can confirm the help you give.
Then know this. Your luck is once more on fate's razor edge.
What? What you've just said makes me nervous.
You'll know once you hear the tokens of my art. As I was sitting in my ancient place, receiving omens from the flights of birds, who all come there when I can hear them, I hear among these birds an unknown cry, evil, unintelligible, angry screaming. I knew that they were tearing at each other with murderous claws. So, right away, up on that blazing altar, I set up burnt offerings. But Hephaestus failed to shine out from the sacrifice. Dark slime poured out onto the embers. The rites had failed. There was no prophecy revealed in them. Our state is sick. Your policies have done this. In the city, our altars and our hearths have been defiled, all of them, with rotting flesh brought there by birds and dogs from Oedipus's son, who lies there miserably dead. The gods no longer will accept our sacrifices, our prayers. Consider this, my son. All men make mistakes. That's not uncommon. But when they do, they're no longer foolish if they try to fix the evil into which they've fallen. Men who put their stubbornness on show invite accusations of stupidity. Make concessions to the dead. What's the glory in killing a dead person one more time?
Old man, you're all like archers shooting at me. For you all, I've become your target. Even prophets have been aiming at me. I've long been bought and sold as merchandise among that tribe. Well, go, make your profits, but you'll never hide that corpse in any grave. Even if Zeus's eagles should choose to seize his festering body and take it up right to the throne, not even then would I, in trembling fear of some defilement, permit that corpse a burial. For I know well that no man has the power to pollute the gods, but, old Tiresias, among human beings, the wisest suffer a disgraceful fall when to promote themselves they use fine words to spread around abusive insults.
Alas! Does any man know or think about?
Think what? What sort of pithy common thought are you about to utter?
How good advice is valuable, worth more than all possessions.
I think that's true, as much as foolishness is what harms us most.
Yet that's the sickness now infecting you.
I have no desire to denigrate a prophet when I speak.
But that's what you are doing when you claim my oracles are false.
With a tribe of prophets, all of them are fond of money.
And kings? Their tribe loves to benefit dishonestly.
You know you're speaking to the man who rules you.
I know. Thanks to me, you saved the city and now are in control.
You're a wise prophet, but you love doing wrong.
You'll force me to speak of secrets locked inside my heart.
Do it. Just don't speak to benefit yourself.
I don't think that I'll be doing that. Not as far as you're concerned.
You can be sure you won't change my mind to make yourself more rich.
Then understand this well. You will not see the sun race through its cycle many times before you lose a child of your own loins. A corpse in payment for these corpses. In your arrogance, you've moved a living soul into a grave, leaving here a body owned by gods below. Unburied, dispossessed, unsanctified. In this, you violate the ones below, and so destroying avengers wait for you. Theories of Hades and the gods will see you caught up in this very wickedness. Now see if I speak as someone who's been bribed. It won't be long before in your own house, the men and women all cry out in sorrow, and cities rise in hate against you. All those whose mangled soldiers have had burial rites from dogs, wild animals, or flying birds who carry the unholy stench back home to every city hearth. I shoot these arrows now into your heart because you have provoked me. I'm angry, and my aim is good. You'll not escape their pain.
My lord, I know here in the city he's never uttered a false prophecy.
I know that too. And it disturbs my mind. It's dreadful to give way, but to resist and let destruction hammer down my spirit, that's a fearful option too.
You need to listen to some good advice.
But tell me what to do. Speak up. I'll do it.
Go and release the girl from her rock tomb, then prepare a grave for that unburied corpse.
This is your advice. You think I should concede?
Yes, my lord, and as fast as possible.
Swift-footed injuries sent from the gods hack down those who act imprudently.
Alas, it's difficult. But I'll give up. I'll not do what I'd set my heart upon. Oh, it's not right to act against necessity.
Go now and get this done. Don't give the work to other men to do.
Come, you servants, each and every one of you, come on, bring axes with you. Go there quickly, up to the higher ground. I've changed my mind. Since I'm the one who tied her up, I'll go and set her free myself. Now I'm afraid.
O Bacchus, you who dwell in the Bacchan's mother city Thebes.
Besides its Venus's flowing streams.
On land sown with the teeth of that fierce dragon.
You honor our city Thebes above all others.
And now when all our people here are captive to a foul disease.
On your healing feet, you come across the moaning strait.
You who lead the dance among the fire-breathing stars.
Who guard the voices in the night. Oh, child born of Zeus, oh my lord.
Dance in frenzy all night long.
All you who live beside the home of Amphion and Cadmus. In human life, there's no set place which I would praise or blame. The lucky and unlucky rise or fall by change day after day. And how these things are fixed for men, no one can prophesy. For Creon, in my view, was once a man we all looked up to. For he saved the state from its enemies. He took control and reigned as its sole king. Now all is gone. For when a man has lost what gives him pleasure, I don't include him among the living. He's a breathing corpse.
Have you come with news of some fresh trouble in our house of kings?
They're dead. And those alive bear the responsibility for those who've died.
Who did the killing? Who's lying dead? Tell us.
Haman has been killed. No stranger shed his blood.
At his father's hand? Or did he kill himself?
By his own hand. Angry at his father for the murder.
Tiresias, how your words have proven true.
That's how things stand. Consider what comes next.
I see Creon's wife, poor Eurydice. She's coming from the house either by chance or else she's heard there's news about her son.
Citizens of Thebes, I heard you talking as I was walking out, going off to pray to ask for help from Goddess Pallas. While I was unfastening the gate, I heard someone speaking of bad news about my family. I was terrified. I collapsed, fainting back into the arms of my attendants. So tell the news again. I'll listen. I'm no stranger to misinformation.
My dear lady, I'll tell you of what I saw. The truth is always best. I went to the plain, accompanying your husband as his guide. Polynices' corpse, still unlamented, was there. We prayed to Pluto and to Hecate, goddess of the road, for their goodwill and to restrain their rage. We gave the corpse ritual wash and burned what was left of it on fresh cut branches. We piled up a high tomb of his native earth. Then we moved to the young girl's rocky cave, the hollow cavern of that bride of death. From far away, one man heard a voice coming from the chamber where we'd put her without a funeral, a piercing cry. He went to tell our master Creon, who groaned and spoke out these bitter words.
Has misery made me a prophet now? And am I traveling along a road that takes me to the worst of all disasters? I've just heard the voice.
Of my own son.
You servants, go ahead, get up there fast, remove the stones pulled in the entranceway, then stand beside the tomb and look in there to see if it was Haman's voice I heard.
Following what our desperate master asked, we looked, and in the furthest corner of the tomb, we saw
Antigone, hanging by the neck, held up in a noose, fine woven linen,
Haman.
had his arms around her waist. He was embracing her and crying out in sorrow for the loss of his own bride, now among the dead. His father's work, and now for his horrific marriage bed.
Creon saw him and let out a fearful groan, then went inside and called out anxiously.
You unhappy boy. Come out, my child. I'm begging you. Please, come.
But the boy just stared at him with savage eyes, and without saying a word, drew his two-edged sword.
Creon
Moved away, so the boy's blow failed to strike his father.
Angry at himself, the ill-fated lad, right then and there, leaned into his own sword, driving half the blade between his ribs. While conscious, he embraced the girl in his weak arms, and as he breathed his last, he caught up streams of blood on her fair cheek.
Now he lies there, corpse on corpse. His marriage has been fulfilled in the chambers of the dead. The unfortunate boy has shown all men how of all the evils which afflict mankind, the most disastrous one is thoughtlessness.
What do you make of that? The queen's gone back.
I'm surprised myself. I hope she's gone because she doesn't think it right to mourn for him in public. In home, surrounded by her servants, she'll arrange a period of mourning for the house. She's discreet and has experience. She won't make mistakes.
I'm not sure of that. To me, her staying silent was extreme. It seems to point to something ominous, just like a vain excess of grief.
I'll go on. We'll find out if she's hiding something secret deep within her passionate heart.
Here comes the king in person, carrying in his arms, if it's right to speak of this, a clear reminder that this evil comes not from some stranger, but from his own mistakes.
Mistakes made by a foolish mind. Cruel mistakes that bring on death. You see here, all in one family, the killer and the killed. Oh, the profanity of what I planned. Alas, my son, you died so young, a death before your time, you're dead. Gone? Not from your own foolishness, but mine.
Alas, it seems you've learned to see what's right, but far too late.
I've learned it in my pain. Some god, clutching a great weight, struck my head, then hurled me onto paths in wilderness, throwing down and casting underfoot what brought me joy. So sad, so sad, the wretched agony of human life.
My lord, you come like one who stores up evil, what you hold in your arms and what you'll see in the house before too long.
What's that? Is there something still more evil than all this?
Your wife is dead. Blood mother of that corpse, slaughtered with a sword. Her wounds are very new. Poor lady.
A gathering place for death. No sacrifice can bring this to an end. Why are you destroying me? You there, you bringer of this dreadful news, what are you saying now? You kill a man, then kill him once again. A slaughter heaped on slaughter. My fear now makes me tremble. Why won't someone now strike out at me? Pierce my heart with a double-bladed sword.
By this woman who lies dead, you stand charged.
What about her? How did she die so violently?
She killed herself. With her own hands, she stabbed her belly once she heard her son's most sorry fate.
Alas for me, the guilt for all of this is mine. It can never be removed for me or passed to any other mortal man. I, and I alone. I murdered you. I speak the truth. Servants, hurry and lead me off. Get me away from here, for now what I am in life is nothing. Let that day come. Oh, let it come. The fairest of all destinies for me, the one which brings on my last day. Oh, let it come, so that I never see another dawn.
The most important part of true success
Is wisdom.
Not to act impiously towards the gods.
For boasts of arrogant men,
Bring on great punishment.
so that in old age men can discover wisdom.